Welcome back to the channel. My name is Torrence, and in today's video, we're throwing around opinions. But before we get started, I would like to ask you all to please hit that subscribe button. If you've already subscribed to the channel, I would like to say thank you for doing so. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. But in today's video, honey, I am feeling really special. I am recording this video today on Sunday, and although I had plans to race out to Target real quick, I'm realizing daylight savings has thrown things back an hour, and so I have an extra hour of time on my hands. Went through all my messages and everything, and with yesterday being Halloween, I did a video inspired by someone here on YouTube called Theresa is Dead. I honestly just thought it would be a video I would do. I would put it out there. She may never see it because she just hit 40,000 subscribers. Not only did she see it, but she retweeted me on Twitter, so I was like, I was just so ecstatic that not only she had saw the look, but that she liked it. And with me still being on cloud 9, I wanted to do my version of a video that I absolutely love by her. She started doing these videos with a woman named Lacie. She goes by Spooky Lips and Fat Hips. She does amazing work as well. If you are someone who likes dark looks, grungy looks, Lacie's the one to check out, and I'll make sure I leave her video in the description bar as well. But they started a video called My Favorite Basic Bitch Palettes, and I cannot agree more. And as someone who's always enjoyed colorful eyeshadow, sometimes I just have to be real with myself. One, I'm getting a little older, and two, I now have a more professional job, and although they truly don't mind what my makeup looks like, sometimes you just want to come in, do your work, and go on. You want to be known and seen for your work, not necessarily your makeup. So every now and then, I like to switch in and throw in some neutral palettes. And that's what we're going to do today, is do my own version of it. I didn't want to use the exact name, and I couldn't come up with something that I wanted to use. And all I kept thinking is neutral and getting older, neutral and getting older. And it reminded me of some of the older people in my family. Growing up, everyone that was older than me, it seems like they all loved soap operas. They used to call it stories. And when their stories were on, children were quiet. You weren't running around the house making a lot of noise. You weren't asking a lot of questions. Either you were sitting down and watching with them, or you were in the next room being quiet enough so that they can watch in peace. And my favorite one back in the day used to be The Bold and Beautiful, simply because I like the name. So today I decided to name my version of Theresa and Lacie's video, The Basic and the Beautiful. And not only do I have 10 palettes here, I also decided to go ahead and rank them. Might have been a little harder, but these are just the palettes that I figure whenever I go to these, I know for sure my look is going to be simple, it's going to be fast, and I don't have to worry about it. So if you would like to see what 10 palettes made it on my list, go ahead and continue to watch. Alright, first up. Probably the most infamous one on this list, and I just want to show it off. I understand there's some controversy going around behind this palette because there was a formula change, but I would be lying if I said it's not one of my favorites. It's something I use on a regular basis, and that would be the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Volume 1 palette. This little bad baby here is a neutral dream. To me, I still don't see why Morphe changed the formula. The only two reasons I could think is either one, cost, or two, materials. Many companies like to switch up the formula because if they can find cheaper ingredients, it increases their profits. Or it could be that they were sourcing ingredients from a particular place and those are no longer available. So they were forced to either A, discontinue the palette altogether, or B, just reformulate it with new items. Either way, the public wasn't happy about it, but I'm glad I have this one here. And when you see the inside, honey, you can look and see. This is a selection of colors, honey. And although I only use this for the neutral shades, we all know greens are my favorites, and I have used this once before. But if you just cover these 4 shades right here, you can see just how neutral it is. The only thing you'll have left is these 2 greens. But if you were to take your hand and just do like this, cover those greens and those, you got a warm neutral palette. That's essentially what this is a warm neutral palette with 6 pop of colors. You got a purple, a blue, and 4 greens. I love it, but this whole top 2, maybe these top 3 rows, is all I needed for this palette. I use it all the time. This was probably the, wait, let me think. Yeah, this was the very first Morphe purchase that I ever made. When they were first being shilled out by everybody, all I kept seeing was 35.0, and I'm like, no. Although I want a neutral palette, it will not be an orange one as my first purchase. But when they teamed up with Jaclyn and gave me this beautiful variety, I had to have it. So this is why this is number 10 on my favorite basic but beautiful palettes. Next up, once again, to me, I wouldn't say this palette had some controversy to it, but it wasn't as well perceived by the public as it was online by the influencers. And I'm someone, ain't no point in lying, I absolutely love Rihanna. If I wasn't gay, I promise you she'd be my wife. But I love it. It's simple, it's to the point, and a lot of people were saying, you know, they wish it had a little more pigmentation, but many times going in with something that is extremely strong and extremely pigmented can mean either A, you're gonna have a dark look, or B, it can take a lot longer to blend that out. But that's one of the main reasons why I love this palette, because I know I can build and layer the mattes. The shimmers, I can start off with just a nice little shine, or I can build that up to a high shine sparkle. And that palette for me is going to be the Moroccan Spice by Fenty Beauty. And just looking at that purple packaging, like, honey, let me give you a close-up of her. Like, ooh. And truth be told, I can understand why many people may have had issues with paying $59 for such a palette. To me, it was absolutely stunning, and the fact that Rihanna just put her name on it, meaning I was gonna buy it. But I had to do a tutorial with this palette here just to show everyone that this is quality, but truth be told, it was probably the better value when it went on sale. Like I said, it started off at about $59, but when it went down to $25, I recommended everyone go and get it. And the reason this one here is at number 9 is because, once again, like the Jaclyn, this is more of a warm neutral palette, but it does have some pop of colors in here, which doesn't necessarily keep it at the basic level. But once again, you go ahead and you do like this, that's warm neutrals. You got some red shades, you got some pink shades, you got some browns, and most of your shimmers are all in the gold family. But when you remove that finger, all of a sudden it looks a lot more colorful and a lot more glam than what it is. But I absolutely love this palette. I have a tutorial on this palette which you can look at here just in case you want to see a live demonstration. I've worn this out with my friends probably more times than many other palettes because I knew for sure if I just want to go out, have a good time, and not worry about keeping up with my makeup, I absolutely love this palette. Especially if me and my friends are going to a comedy club, because if I'm going to have my tears running down my face, the last thing I need is green or purple color coming down. I need something rather neutral, and this one usually fits the bill for me. So that's why we have Moroccan Spice by Fenty Beauty. Number 9 for beautiful and basic. Ooh, number 8. The funny thing about this one here is I knew I absolutely loved this color combo because before they even put this palette out, I had all of these shades as singles except one, because one shade was a custom made color, and that palette is the Glam AF by MAC and Patrick Starr. When they dropped this first collab, I think me and everyone else in the beauty sphere just all went crazy. In my opinion, it was already known that MAC has good things. That wasn't a question. But MAC products weren't selling quite as well as they had in the past. So when Patrick Starr decided he was going to do a collab with them, it was a fight. To get that collection, baby, most of those items were available year-round. But because Patrick put his name on the side of it, it was a fight to get them. And I managed to get every single piece of that first collection. Still haven't used that powder yet, don't hurt me. But I had to get this one here because just the fact that he called it glam, meaning I had to have it because I want to be glam as Patrick. And when you look at these colors here, it's like, Torrence, that's that's basic. Like, let me give you a close-up of this. I know this is supposed to be the basic and the beautiful, but Torrence, how basic can you get? But these are all shades that absolutely get the job done. Right here, we have Brule, Oh My God, Saddle, and Embark. In this palette, you have 3 matte shades that are all classics. They can all be purchased from MAC individually at any given time. The one shade that I wanted was this one here called Oh My God. I had to have it. You gave Patrick a custom shade, I had to have it. The thing is, MAC already carries a shade in their permanent line that looks just like this shade. And I can't remember what the name of it is, but I'll make sure I leave it in the description bar later. The funniest part about it was that single shade that they make just like this. I honestly like that one a little more because this one got Patrick's name on it. I usually leave that one over to the side for clients, and I'm the only one who gets Oh My God. So that's why this one here goes at number 8, because I already have these shades. I know I can purchase everything over, but I use this just to support Patrick. So Patrick, number 8 to basic and beautiful. Number 7. A brand I'm actually surprised I haven't featured on my channel yet because I absolutely love her products. She herself can be known to have a little controversy, but usually I find as if many people are just doing way too much to actually go around judging people for what they decide to do with their bodies when it doesn't affect anybody else. I think it's just wrong. And this palette here is actually a repurchase because it was the most used eyeshadow palette in my collection when I was freelancing. Like, the most used palette. And that is the Warm Brown Sessions by Huda Beauty. This little bitty thing here is absolutely stunning. And truth be told, I am so upset that they got rid of these. I personally thought the Obsession palettes looked better in this cardboard. Not only is cardboard a lot easier to recycle than plastic, but they also gave us much more product for a lower price. The Obsession palettes are now $29, the pans are smaller, and it's like, no ma'am, honey. And when you open this thing up, it's like, ooh. To note, we only have that one shimmer in the middle. We have 8 truly different shades around there that are matte. Like, come on sis, get into this. You only need that one shimmer in the middle and he goes with every color in this palette. Like, I just don't understand how everybody wasn't raging of this palette. I have another one that's downstairs. He's almost hit pan on that middle shade. I probably almost hit pan on like 3-4 of the other shadows as well. But when I realized, one, I had already completely gone through one palette, started to hit pan on a second one, I immediately purchased this one for my own collection because the one thing I was not going to do is use them up on clients and not be able to enjoy the glam myself. Hey Huda, welcome to Beautiful and Basic, girl. I'm just realizing I keep switching it up. It's supposed to be the basic and the beautiful. I keep switching up to beautiful and basic, basic and beautiful. Child, that lets you know it's too early in the morning, but let me write this down. Number 6 came through and it just really took me by surprise because I had heard so much about this brand before I got this palette. And although everybody was talking about their larger, more expensive ones, I'm sitting back like, first off, I ain't even a big fan of eyeshadow, and 2, you want me to spend how much? How much? But I didn't go with their larger 12 pan palettes. I decided to save my coin and get a smaller 6 pan one. Best decision ever. And when I tell you I don't regret nothing, because at number 6, my Viseart Theory Minx palette. I have all of the Theory palettes because they are absolutely amazing and they are what started my love of Viseart. Viseart makes my absolute favorite matte formula. My absolute favorite matte formula. So when I heard $80 for 12 shadows, I was like, no ma'am, we're not doing that. But after trying this, I bought all of these and I've been on a hunt to get all of those other Viseart palettes. But number 2, Minx, you got 3 mattes, you got 3 shimmers. They're laid out lightest to darkest. And as you can see, honey, let me get you a closer view. It's significant dips in these shades, honey, because I absolutely love that middle palette. Although you can use any of them, that very first one on the far left can be used on lighter skin tones. The one on the far right can be used to deepen up any of the other looks. And I'm telling you, it's just something about this Theory palette that just goes, you're glam, you're quick, you're beautiful. Whether I go in with 1 or 2 mattes and just go ahead and do that as a simple matte look, whether I want to use all 3 mattes and use 2 or 3 of the shimmers and go over the top and go glam, I know it's going to be neutral, I know it's going to be beautiful, and I know it's going to be no fuss. And the part that scares me about this Theory palette is I've seen fewer and fewer retailers have this in stock, so I promise you, if there's any way you can get your hands on this palette, make sure you get it, because here at number 6, Basic and Beautiful, Viseart Theory Minx. I'm telling you, if for any reason mine ever goes bad and I can't repurchase it, I'm going to be hitting up Viseart personally, like emailing them, telling them, like, can I make a trip to headquarters so I can get another one? Because sis, my Sephora don't got it and I need one from y'all. So make sure y'all get that palette. Number 5 is another palette that I've done a tutorial on. I absolutely love the brand. Not only do I love it, but it seems to be the most supported brand on my channel because anytime I feature this brand, you all go crazy. And that is the Warrior palette by Juvia's Place. Not only do I think that this palette has the absolute prettiest packaging of them all, it is the most simple, most beautiful, most out the door in a flash palette that they created. Honey, get into this gold goodness. Look at all of those shades of gold, honey. Whether you want to go for a light gold or a dark one. Whether you want one yellow toned or orange toned. Whether you want to do just an all shimmer look or you want to go matte and shimmer, you have it here. 3 mattes, 6 shimmers, a variety of colors, honey. You don't need nothing else. And the fact that when I first bought it, the first thing I said is, but where's my matte black? She don't need it. Black to me would have made this palette so much more dramatic, so much more over the top, that I'm glad they didn't put it there. Because here, these shades are just so buttery, so creamy, so pigmented. I think out of all of my Juvia's Place palettes that I've ever owned, the palette I probably used the most was the Masquerade Mini. The one I've purchased the most and given away as gifts the most, this one here. I know so many women that are afraid of colors but are interested in the brand Juvia's Place, so I always show them. Try this one first. You will be back for the colors. So at number 5, Juvia's Place Warrior palette. I think if nothing else, just sitting down looking at all of these palettes, if you could only grab one, grab this one. Next up was a shocker to me because although I knew she was very beautiful and I knew her makeup artist had talent, that doesn't always mean you're going to come out with a quality product. So I sat back with a long magnifying glass like, honey, we're going to check out the quality of this. We're going to check out the price and the pan sizes. We're going to make sure you don't play with our coin. And when I tell you, she delivered and beat my expectations on every level. The KKW Classic palette. I don't see what took Kim so long to come out with her makeup, honey. Out of all of these new celebrity endorsed makeup lines, I don't see how and why Kim was not the first one. I know a lot of people started following and heard of Kim for one reason. Many of us who genuinely like cosmetics and makeup understands. Whether you like the Kardashians or not, you gotta give those girls credit. They be looking on point. The looks be flawless, the makeup be lying. And when I think of all of the beautiful glam looks I've done with this, and as you can see, I've personally rearranged my shades just because I like color stories that make sense to me. I don't care why a company said they did a layout a certain way. If I believe I can change it and make things more comfortable for myself, we're gonna do so. Like, look at this. You see on the top, I have my neutral shades. On the bottom, I have my more pop of colors. And these aren't, you know, dramatic colors that are gonna go over the top. These are neutral, ready, and mauve shades that you can wear in a professional setting. And for that reason, I absolutely love this palette. There isn't a matte black where I can take and accidentally do things that are too dark. These are just soft colors where I can truly go one in the crease. I could even possibly blend that out as a transition shade, a shimmer on the lid, and I'm good to go. All the colors work together, so no matter which shimmer I pair up with which matte, they're good. And what makes this palette even better is the fact that they're magnetized. So I can go ahead, pop one of these shades out, just take that with me and create my own custom palette, or just go ahead and use a few shades from this and keep it moving. I was gonna say, I don't see why we don't hear so much more about Kim's products, but you do have those people who just genuinely don't like the Kardashians, so whether good or bad, they're not gonna support them. But if you're someone who just truly cares about the makeup and you're not judging the person behind it, get you a KKW palette. Because right here, I'm happy to say at number 4, the Basic and Beautiful, the Classic palette. For number 3, when it comes to iconic figures in the modeling world, honey, there are very, very few people you can name that can stand out the way Naomi does. Naomi Campbell is easily one of my favorite supermodels. When I think of the word supermodel, to not even bring Naomi Campbell up, it means either A, you're uneducated, or B, you're just a bold-faced liar. Ain't none of that, that's just your opinion. No, it's not just my opinion. We're not gonna argue with facts. Naomi is the epitome of the word supermodel. So when she collabed with my favorite complexion brand, NARS, you said Naomi got an eyeshadow palette coming? I wanted it. You couldn't tell me nothing about it. I had to have it. I was getting it. I didn't care who else had it. And the first thing I kept thinking to myself is, Torrence, Naomi isn't known for her over-the-top purples and greens and things like that. So you know you're going to be getting stuck with a neutral palette. And when I heard, like, dang, but you don't like neutral palettes, that didn't stop or slow nothing down. I knew for sure I wanted this. And all I kept saying is, please, Naomi, if you don't do nothing else, just please avoid the oranges. Please. Please avoid the oranges. I know this got to fit you, but I need this to fit me. All I wanted her to do was avoid the oranges, and she came through for me. In a world of warm neutral palettes, Naomi decided to give us some cooler tone shades. Like, look at this. Look at that. Baby, this is a cool neutral dream, and I had never seen colors quite exactly like this. Although none of these shades are truly, oh, I've never seen anything like that. This layout and this color story together, it was beautiful. And they took it a step further by making these top few shades a little bit larger, because I understand most of us never hit pan on an eyeshadow palette, but there are truly shades that you use a lot more than others, and that's usually that transition and crease area for me. Naomi, I don't know what type of beautiful sorcery y'all did with this palette, but I promise y'all need to give her a round 2, because the formula was beautiful, the color was beautiful, the packaging, nice, simple, sleek, like, I absolutely love this bad baby. And normally with NARS, they usually go in and do that white decal here. The fact that that has a little color to it, I'm like, okay, NARS, y'all trying to step out the box, girl, go ahead and do that. But I absolutely love this palette. And when I tell you, I don't even let nobody else use it. For most of my makeup, I don't mind. Oh, girl, you want to use that? You can go ahead and borrow. Just make sure you bring it back. You don't get to borrow this one. You don't get to use it. You don't get to swatch it. Naomi is mine. She's number 3. And although this collection is called the Basic and Beautiful, Naomi not basic, so we're just going to call her beautiful at number 3. Number 2, a palette I knew was going to make the list here. I've done a tutorial using this palette, And when I first saw it, it was just something about it that immediately drew me in. I couldn't understand why everyone else was going crazy over it, why it was so sold out all the time. But the moment I got it, things became very clear. And as of right now, because I still haven't tested everything from the brand out that I own, I think this is my favorite palette. Like, we're not even going to go with it anymore. And that's the Colourpop Going Coconuts palette. Although I saw this little plastic packaging and I kept thinking like, come on, Torrence, you know you prefer cardboard. Why would they do that? This is why. It don't make no sense for a neutral palette to be this pretty. And when I first got into makeup, everybody always had to have a preference. It seemed like you had to be warm neutral or you had to be cool neutral. And every time I heard someone, especially like Kim K, say, oh, she likes neutrals, she likes neutrals, it always made me wonder, like, well, does she like warm neutrals or cool neutrals? Like, which side? You don't have to pick a side. There is a such thing as just being strictly neutral, where you don't lean warm, where you have those yellows and those oranges and reds, or you don't lean cool, where you have your grays and your taupes and your mauves and things like that. You can be dead smack right here in the middle. And that's what Colourpop has done. And when I tell you, I'm sitting here, I know I'm supposed to be explaining my thoughts and my feelings. All I can tell you is, she's beautiful. I've rearranged mine just to make sure I can go straight across. Look, look, look. And I want to give you all like a close-up look of this palette because she's fabulous. Like, look at that. It is truly down the middle. Nothing over the top warm, nothing over the top cool. It's like, whoever created this palette at Colourpop, I don't care if that's their job. They need a raise. They need a profit sharing check. They need a retirement check. They need a house in the Hamptons for what they did for y'all with this. Like, I don't care what their job was. They could have been suspended 4 times, one more write-up and they out the door. And if they submitted this, this is easily the most requested palette I've ever seen on the website. I used to think everybody was going crazy over the Sailor Moon and then that died down real fast. Then I thought everybody was crazy over Kathleen Light's collab and then that died down. This, it just doesn't seem like the hype is going to go anywhere. I think the only other palette I've ever seen compete with the hype of this one is the Yes Please. And once again, that one's gone and the hype's died down. Whenever this one's gone, people cause a scene. So for number 2 for Basic and Beautiful, Going Coconuts. And if you want to see just how beautiful it can be, check out my tutorial right here. Number 1 for Basic and Beautiful, honey. When I tell you, just seeing the packaging right here, it just excites me. It gets me so, like, it puts me on a whole nother level of, I know you're going to be pretty. I don't have to debate whether the look is going to turn out right. I don't have to worry about, is this going to blend? Do I have, no. There has never been any stress with using this palette. And the craziest part about it is, if we can consider makeup palettes as album releases, this would have been a true flop. It was just, nobody was trying to hear about this palette. Nobody wanted it. Everybody overlooked it. And it wasn't because of the quality, because everyone loved and supported the brand. Everybody knew that they did good things. It was just, this palette was so basic, nobody wanted to spend $30-something for it. I believe it was like $32.99. But I've said it once before, and I'm going to continue to say it until I find something better. I truly believe this may be the palette I wear on my wedding day. Right now, I'm single. I'm single. But I've had multiple dreams before where I thought, okay, Torrence, imagine you're going to an award show. What would you do for your makeup that day? Imagine someone threw you a surprise birthday party and you just had to run upstairs, change clothes, and come back down to your guests because they're already there. What palette would you use? What look would you create? And anytime I daydream or have a dream about my wedding day, the Makeup Geek and the Nude palette always seems to show up. I know for sure I love greens, I love colors, I really love black eyeshadow. But if for any reason I were to get married, the one thing I would want is a classic wedding photo. A picture where everything is so neutral, so basic that even when I turn 80, it'll still seem that same way and not dated like, ooh girl, why did you do your brows like that? Or why did you overdraw your... Certain things are trends. This neutral palette, I don't see ever being so. And I love it so much, I rearranged the colors in this one too. And look at that. Ain't nothing spectacular or special just looking at this color story. When you see it, it's like, I mean, okay. Every time I look at this palette, I just see how stunning and beautiful it is. We have our nice neutral to cool tone shades here that are just strictly in the brown family. You have your brow bone highlight, you have your inner corner highlight, you have a lid shade. Then we go to this middle row where things are much more pink, much more romantic. I love using those looks, especially around Valentine's Day. You can't go wrong. And if for any reason I want to try to keep it simple or do something that I would consider dark, I always remind myself, Torrence, if you want to go dark but you still want to go professional, do this. It'll give you a little color, it'll be darker than your skin tone, but it will still be professional, it'll still be glam, it'll still be elegant. And that's why I love this palette, because it keeps me not only in my comfort zone, but what I feel as if is other people's comfort zone. Because out of every single palette I've ever worn in my life, this one has given me the most compliments. It's one of those palettes where when I'm doing my look, the whole time I'm complaining like, this is so basic, this is so simple, where's the glam, honey, where's the, come on, just give me a little more. And then during the day, when let's say I'm just walking to the restroom or I just walk past the mirror, I always stop and go, ooh, oh, how you doing? You cute. Hi, my name is Torrence. Because honey, I just be looking so fabulous, I just be wanting to introduce myself, like, baby, you single? You want to go out to eat? You need a bill paid or something? Like, it just turns me into a romantic, honey, because it just makes me feel so beautiful. And that's why right here, for number one, my absolute favorite basic but beautiful palette has to be the Makeup Geek and the Nude palette. It's just, every time I look at this palette, it just makes me want to go ahead and see if I can recreate this. And now that I've thought about it, and considering the fact I've created my own Makeup Geek palettes, I'm really going to start looking on their website to see if they create all 9 of these shades as individuals, because to see what shades I can use to recreate this palette may be stunning, because they have recently changed over to a square format. So all of these shades here in the circle format may not necessarily be available right now, but honey, I love that palette. I'm never getting rid of it. I'm never selling it. And I hope you all managed to get it, because if you did, you understand just why the love is so real. But I hope you all truly did enjoy this video with me today. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you also leave me a comment down below letting me know if you have any of these palettes. Also leave me a comment down below letting me know some of your favorite basic palettes, because at the end of the day, everything doesn't have to be a dramatic look. We can keep things simple and still fall in love. And for many of you all that subscribe to my channel, I'm starting to find out that you all prefer neutrals more than the colorful looks that I do. Everyone likes to see me do those colorful looks, but then you always come back with that comment like, yeah, that 6 and 7 color purple was look, but how about that brown? And if you all would like any information on the eye look that I'm wearing today, I want you to please make sure you check out the video that I've done here previously. And just remember, honey, basic does not have to mean boring. As I showed you today, it can mean beautiful. But with nothing else, I hope you all remember to practice, continue to stay blessed, and until next time, goodbye, YouTube.